Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan. Thank you so much for coming by. Today's video, this is a special one. I'm gonna tell you all why I quit driving for Uber and Lyft. My story. A lot of you guys have been asking me. A lot of you guys have been saying, Dylan, you don't drive for Uber. This guy doesn't drive for Uber. He just makes videos all day long. Well, there's a story for everything, okay? I want to make this video. I don't want to lie to you guys at all, or not lie, but like, I don't want anybody to think that, you know, I have my own set of problems, okay? I'm not perfect. I'm not this great guy. I have issues. We all, I don't know, we all have issues. Some of you guys literally seem perfect and amazing people, and I love you guys. I mean, a lot of you guys. I read the comments, and I love reading the supportive comments. But, you know, there's been some issues that I've dealt with myself, and, not gonna lie, there's been some mental issues, and I think we should talk about mental health. And sorry, I'm trying to make this a negative video. Sometimes I do get upset though. Yeah, also, before I get into the story, I wanted to tell you all about Current. Current is our sponsor. It's helping Uber and Lyft drivers get paid up to 2 days faster if you ever, you know, need cash quicker. And it's free. It's totally free service. It's a mobile banking app, so you sign up and, you know, you deposit money basically. I use Current. I put in $100 just so to make sure for you guys that it works. I've earned some money here just in savings, so they pay a really high savings, 4% a year, which is really high. I don't know anywhere else where you can make 4% right now, especially with inflation. So I'm putting my money into Current. Okay, so a lot of you guys don't know my story. So I started driving for, I was basically in a really rough time in my life, financially and mentally, really bad. And I had a really just kind of low point in my life where, you know, I was working all these jobs, and I've worked at so many different jobs. I worked at restaurants, worked at Starbucks, worked at bookstore, worked at clothing stores, worked at a winery shop, liquor store basically, that sold wine. Sold knives door to door. I've done literally every job you could imagine on the face of the earth. And I was never good at a job. And I think that maybe that's what called me to drive for Uber, but basically, I had all these expenses, and I was trying to be an actor, and I was trying to do videography, and you know, I bought this camera, and I paid for my headshots and paid for my acting classes. A lot of these jobs pay for my acting classes and paying for all this stuff, and so the acting class was only $300 a month, which isn't absurd, but you know, and all of a sudden I found out, like not found out, but I realized I have. And I didn't take any personal finance course ever, or class or anything, or even learned about it. And I had 2 credit cards maxed out. And one I was paying 29% interest, and I just pulled a cash advance on one of my credit cards, which is horrible because there's fees on that. You should never do that, which I didn't know at the time, and I was, you know, 21 or whatever. And I was just going out partying, whatever, doing acting classes, trying to make my way in life. Wasn't working, obviously. Dropped out of college, just feeling really, really down. And I started listening to this guy. I don't know how, by the grace of God, I thank God every day for this, that I started listening to this guy named Dave Ramsey on YouTube. And I started, you know, I listened to him a little bit. And it was like, he was like, you need to pay off your credit cards. It's like, your debt is holding you back. Your debt is killing you. Your debt is, you're a slave. Basically, it's biblical, is that when somebody lends you money, they have power over you. And he's like, that's literally what these credit card companies do to you. And he'll chase freedom. You know, it's like they're basically giving you this false reality that this credit card is giving you freedom, when in reality, you're becoming a slave to it. And you're becoming a slave to these credit card companies when you have to, you know, take your hard-earned money and give it to them. You borrowed money from them, and now they're paying you this absurd interest, and you're a slave to them. And he feels the same way about car debt, you know, getting car payments. Obviously, he's very, very you know, strict and very extreme with his finances and stuff. He believes he should have no credit score, which is, anyways, that's what he believes in, and I respect the man for sticking to, you know, what he wants, what he believes in, and what he teaches. And so I was like, obviously what I'm doing isn't working, right? And I have credit cards. And he's like, you need to cut those credit cards up. He's not talking to me, he's talking to the people who call into a show and stuff. If you've never listened to Dave Ramsey, I highly recommend it. And you don't need to buy the book or the course, just listen to his videos and you'll slowly learn, quickly learn what his baby steps are. I know all of his baby steps, and I've never bought his course or paid anything. And I've just watched the videos, given him my time, which is, you know, attention, and they run ads, so it makes sense. Anyways, I'm rambling, but I started, I cut up my credit cards, physically cut them, and I said, you know, I'm gonna pay these off. I started driving for Lyft. I signed up for Lyft, and I remember walking into that Lyft meeting, orientation. I don't think they even have those anymore. This was back in 2017, I think. Walked to this Lyft, they had a whole PowerPoint presentation. They were literally like legit back then with how they, you know, I thought they were gonna train us. And then afterward, I thought that, you know, I was gonna get paired up with the driver. Yeah, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. And they were like, all right, you can start doing rides in 24 hours. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah. I was like, who's gonna train me? They're like, you just sign on, bro. And I was like, okay. It was so new back then. I mean, not so new, but it was still pretty new. And so I started doing rides. I remember I did one night, my first ride. I was so nervous. I picked somebody up, and I didn't even know how to use the GPS. I was like, you know, you're doing your first ride and you're freaking out. You're like, I don't even know how I'm gonna, you know, use the GPS. And I remember having to ask them, I was like, do I turn left here? They're like, yeah. And they didn't know it was my first ride, so I'm literally driving like, it was a 5-minute drive, and I'm like, don't mess up, don't mess up. I was so nervous. And then the second people I got, I remember I forgot to put my seatbelt was like tucked under behind the seat, because no way my chairs fold. And they're like, oh, your seatbelt isn't, you know, on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, let me fix that for you. And they were really nice. I think they tipped me like $2. There were these two ladies. And I did another ride. I did 3 rides, and they were all on like a Saturday night. It was the worst day to start. But I finished them. And then the last guy was like a worker. He was like working really late, like construction or something. He was leaving this construction site at like 9 p.m. and I took him home, and he was really nice. And then after that, and that was like a long ride, so him and I talked, and I was, after I finished that, I was like, whew, I'm done. And then I remember I met up with my girlfriend at the time, and I did not tell her I was driving. If you guys are in that boat where you're like embarrassed to tell people you drive for rideshare, that was me. But I was like, I gotta pay off these credit cards, So anyways, I won't bore you too much, but I paid off. I worked for Lyft in the mornings, and I had a day job during the day. It was a part-time job, making $16 an hour, $16.50 an hour, which was really good back then, which is minimum wage now basically, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I was making 16 bucks an hour, working at 12 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at a school. And in the morning I would wake up at 6 a.m. start driving, 5, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. sometimes, drive till 11. Then I would, at 11, you know, I didn't want to take any more rides because I didn't want to be late for my normal job. So at 11 I kind of clocked out or try to finish up. Sometimes I would be racing back to get there on time, so I was like, let me stop at like 11. And then I'd do my job, and then after my job would end at 3:30, I'd go back on and drive for Lyft. Or then I got a job at Nike working part-time, so I would go drive to Nike and work there from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. So every single day I was working from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. This was for about 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And then I quit my Nike job, just did Lyft in the school, and then after that I got a job at the Marriott, I remember, and that was 40 hours a week, 16 bucks an hour, working at a desk. And I was like, I quit Lyft and all that stuff. And I didn't do Lyft for a while because I just worked at the Marriott. Finished paying off my credit cards, started paying my car debt off. It was this car, which it's paid off now. It was only a $5,000 in credit cards and $5,000 on the car. Paid all that off. And then, yeah, I finished school. I went to Berkeley, UC Berkeley. Shout out Bears, go Bears. finished my school, you know, I paid off the debt, graduated, and that's why I started making these videos, these rideshare videos. And then so I, you know, started driving again because I started making content for the YouTube channel, started driving, a little extra income on the side. And then there was one time I remember where I got a ticket driving for rideshare. Sorry, my car. I got a ticket driving for rideshare in this car. And I remember I had just spent, it was like literally like over a 2-hour ride, which was so dumb on my part. It was like 3 hours round trip, but it was like a 2-hour ride because I picked this girl up. It was honestly maybe in 4 hours. So dumb because I remember I waited on this girl. I picked her up, well, this lighting. I picked her up from the mall and I couldn't find her. It took me like 20 minutes to find her. And she didn't speak good English, so it was hard to find her. And anyways, I pick her up, she gets in my car, she starts crying, blah, blah, blah. I felt really bad for her. She's like, I'm going to In-N-Out, and I said, okay, I'm dropping you off. She goes, no, go through drive-through. And I'm like, okay, fine, you know, it shouldn't take that long. Wrong. It took, we were sitting in the drive-through for like 30, 40 minutes. In-N-Out drive-through is really, really long sometimes. And she's like, I'll buy you a burger, I'll buy you a burger. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she buys me a burger, which, whatever, you know, $3, $5 burger. I'm waiting in line for 40 minutes. And by the time we leave In-N-Out, I've already been, you know, with this girl for an hour. And, or more. And then we take her to her hotel. Now, once we get to the hotel, as we're going there, she goes, oh, I need to get a new hotel tonight in LA, which is another 40 minutes away. And she didn't, you know, have that in the app. And I said, I'll take you, because, you know, me thinking, oh, another 40 miles, you know, that's good money right there. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to make $100 on this ride. Once I drop her off, it was $70. She did not leave me a tip. Maybe she left me a $10 tip. I don't remember what it was, but either way, it was like $70 total, which I was like, that's it? For all that time? It was like hours. But a lot of it was waiting. 'Cause I thought that you get paid a lot more for waiting, which I realized you only get paid like 10 cents an hour, 10 cents a minute, or no, like 5 cents a minute. I forget what it was, but anyways, as I'm getting off, I booked her hotel for her, which is not a good idea, but because she didn't know, she was like, what hotel do I get? And I'm like, oh, I found a Marriott, which was like $200 a night, like not a super expensive one, or $150 a night or whatever, which looked fine. It had decent reviews. So I was like, she's like, book it for me, and I'm like, okay, fine. And I'm booking, I literally have her phone and her credit card. I'm like, this is probably not a good idea. But you know, I book her hotel for her, and I'm like, whatever I can do to get the ride. Yeah, and while we're at the other hotel, I'm waiting for her to get all of her bags and stuff. So I was like waiting for her for like 20 minutes to get from her first hotel to, you know, get back in my car to go to the second hotel. And it was like 40 minutes. And literally, guys, as we get off to get to the last hotel, I kid you not, I freaking get off. I get off of the exit. I'm getting off. I turn right. I gotta make another right to get to the airport. As I'm leaving, I turn right on it's a yellow light to turn right. Literally, it's yellow. Now I never go on yellows anymore. As I turn right, it freaking goes red, bro. It goes red as I'm turning right. Boom, camera flash. And I'm like, oh no, oh no. And I remember the girl in the back goes, whoa. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I get the ticket in the mail. $500 ticket. 500. Bro, I remember after that day, I quit. I remember saying, I'm never doing this mother effing job again. I just spent 4 hours taking this lady crying in my back seat. You know, I'm offering her tissues. I'm being her partner, her husband. She's crying because her husband wanted to divorce her, and she's on this trip alone. She was supposed to go with her husband, but now she's home, and she had freaking 10 bags of Louis Vuitton in her, you know, probably using her husband's credit card, whatever, or fiance's credit card. Maybe it was her own, I shouldn't judge, but I remember thinking, like, I worked 4 hours, in that whole week, by the way, I think I made $400 the whole week driving part-time, because, you know, I'm working 3 jobs. And I got a $500 ticket, and I remember feeling so embarrassed that I got a ticket. Cause you know when you're driving like 8 hours a day, you know, you're just driving, you're kind of going through the motions. And you know, I'm not gonna be honest, like sometimes, you know, you're kind of like a little like, you know, you're driving a lot, you know. And yeah, I shouldn't have turned right on there. You know, I totally accept fault. As a matter of fact, never gonna turn right on a yellow. Or like now I stop at yellows. Like I see a yellow and I stop just because I'm like, I don't want that thing. I have PTSD from that day. So anyways, that's the story, guys. Sorry it was a little long, but there you have it. Let me know what you think, or if you've ever gotten a ticket, or if you've ever had a crazy experience driving rideshare. I know it's pretty nuts, but update though, I am working to drive again. You guys saw my car tour. I have a few dents in my car from this guy that crashed into me, which I'm trying to get fixed right now, so I can get signed on with Uber and Lyft. Uber didn't approve my background check, so I think I can't do that. But Lyft, I'm approved on. I got my insurance accepted, and I just need to get my car inspected, and I need to get my car fixed first. And then I'm gonna get a dash cam and record my rides. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm just doing it obviously just for content, and obviously nice little side cash. But yeah, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know your thoughts, and sign up for Current with the link in the description box below. This awesome app that helps pay you more money, or helps pay you money on your interest, 4%, and cash back on your gas. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, guys. You guys are great. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.